He's been on fire.
Oh my goodness. Bro's
Like,
bro's like a 6'10 Clay.
Can we talk about him for a second?
He's a beast.
Like,
Please.
what is happening?
I mean,
The man is knocked down. Like, knocked down.
I mean, he's always
He
been
is
this
shooting-
efficient. He just needed a bigger role.
yeah, I'm saying if anything, I think the Nuggets might be a little bit better now that Michael Porter Jr. has to take that bigger role and be a bit more aggressive, which is something that, like, I've been monitoring his career, like, every step of the way so far. And the number one theme in Michael Porter Jr.'s career so far has always been, give me more, let me do more, like, stop limiting me so much. And now he's kind of got it. And the attention isn't on him all the time. It's on Jokic primarily. And he gets so many easy points also with backdoor cuts, fantastic passing, and spot-up shooting. I'm definitely still as terrified, if not even a little bit more terrified, of the Denver Nuggets come playoff time. Unless... Go ahead.
I was going to say, do the Lakers have a guy on the roster that matches up with Michael Porter Jr.? I mean, I guess LeBron James, but you're not going to want to tire him out like that, are you?
Yeah, probably not. It's really hard. Defensive stoppers just are very scarce in today's NBA. You know, it's very hard to find good high energy defensive players. So we don't have a player really like that. KCP is like solid, but
You got Caruso.
yeah, Caruso as well. Last year, our go-to guy for that is no longer on our team, and that was Avery Bradley. So,
Ooh.
and I don't even know if I would want a player as undersized as Bradley on Michael Porter Jr. So, yeah, it's definitely something that is going to be a little bit of a shootout once we get to the NBA playoffs. But also, I think I'm okay letting Michael Porter Jr. go off for 30, 40, and I'm even prepared for him to go off for 50. So long as we have someone that can match up with Jokic fairly decently and that could match up with Aaron Gordon. And I think our front court could match up with Jokic and Aaron Gordon fairly well. Not to the point where they could completely stop Jokic, but at least slow him down.
I hope you're right, because Jokic was cooking Anthony Davis in the playoffs last season. And I'm not sure Andre Drummond is fundamentally sound enough to stop somebody as crafty as Jokic. It's going to be fun for sure.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, especially with, you're right, defensive matchups are going to be huge if the Lakers are going to go, big, start Andre, AD, and LeBron. Who do they match up with? I don't know, but I will disagree with you, Mike, with one thing, and that is that I don't think you can just be giving Michael Porter Jr. If Michael Porter Jr. is getting 30 points on you in the playoffs, that is a problem.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Like Coop said, he doesn't do it on many shots. He's incredibly efficient. So if he's dropping 30, like you see right now, if you just go to his game log, like last game they played against Memphis, he's 12 for 19, 3 for 6 from 3, 31 points. Like those are the kind of 30-point games you get from Michael Porter Jr. So, he's not the kind of guy where it's like the Spurs way back where they let Steve Nash just shoot the basketball and he didn't get his teammates involved. Like, Jokic runs that offense, and if Porter is scoring 30, he's getting it off of looks that aren't necessarily designed for him. So that would concern me if I was a Lakers fan.
The reason why I guess I'm not as concerned is because the Lakers currently lead the NBA in team defensive efficiency, and that's without LeBron, that's without AD. So I'm hoping that
I think the Lakers are going to be fine. I think they'll win. However, I will say long term, this could be a situation where Jamal Murray going down ends up being so big for Michael Porter Jr.'s development as a player and makes them just take that next step up next year and going forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Because now he is in that bigger role.
Yeah. Hopefully, probably to all-star status at the very least next year.
Oh, he's been unreal, dude. Oh my God, the fact that the Bulls passed on him for Wendell, who's thriving in Orlando. Freaking Clippers, Jerome Robinson. That name should haunt Los Angeles Clippers fans. The Clippers had Michael Porter Jr. right now, which they easily could with the same roster, literally same roster. God, think of all the teams that passed on Michael Porter Jr. Nuggets. That was free money at that point in the draft too.
Yeah, that was I was kind of shocked too, because I thought Michael Porter Jr. would without a doubt be a top 7 pick at the very least. So, because typically, like in the top 10, yeah, it's a top 10 pick, but how often do you have an opportunity to take a shot on a player that could definitely become like a matchup nightmare and a bona fide all-star? And like, he was very hyped up coming out of high school, of course. So was like a bunch of other players like Jabari Parker and Andrew Wiggins that didn't make it. But when a player that was a presumptive top 3 pick falls all the way down to like number 13, like,
yeah, it was like 13, 14, 15, something.
I don't know how you let that happen.
14.
Like, you're not going to get fired over that pick if you take Michael Porter Jr. at number 9, 10, or 11. So I don't know how he made it all the way down there. And like the Nuggets, I've said this in the past, the Nuggets have just always been really like remarkable at talent evaluation and drafting. Like the same draft that they drafted Jokic was also the same draft that they drafted Nurkic. People don't even think of the fact that Jokic was a second round pick. When's the last time a second round pick was in the MVP conversation? And then on top of that, you like and this is just
Isaiah Thomas, but
well, no. Oh yeah, Isaiah Thomas was Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah. Then on top of that, you look at like
I was agreeing with you, but then I just like actually had like
you just have
like it popped in my head. What can I say?
You just have this impulse. It's like, no, disagree with.
I literally was
Mike.
nodding, and then I was like, oh, Isaiah Thomas. I was gonna say never, and instead the word, I swear to God, the words Isaiah Thomas came out instead of never.
I mean, like,
but like to be fair, like Jokic is literally the MVP favorite, and Isaiah was never going to win that award. So there's definitely a difference.
Yeah, it's just I'm very impressed with the way Denver constructed their roster. It just truly remarkable asset management, taking good calculated risks. Like Bol, dude, that was a second round pick, and like people drool over Bol, even though he's like a role player. You know, like having him at least to develop in the long term, great experiment. Michael Porter Jr., another very low risk, high reward pick. They traded RJ Hampton. It's just, I don't know. Every time the Nuggets draft someone now, I kind of look at them. I'm like, uh-oh, like they know something that I don't. And I don't know, props to them.
To touch back on the Lakers potentially playing the Nuggets, I'm going to say this right now. The Nuggets are a team that I definitely don't want to play.
Yeah, that's going to be very tough. We're going to get a little bit of a preview of it too, because I think next week the Lakers and the Nuggets face off against each other. I don't know if LeBron's going to return by then. Dennis Schroeder kind of like did a thing where he was like giggling. He's like, hee, LeBron's going to return soon. Just you wait and see. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.